So we started the business in 2005, and we started the business out of a response to discovering that London's damaged, decommissioned fire hoses were going to landfill. So we were basically problem first. We decided to bring that home, study it, try to understand what the next best possible life of this material would be, and that was luxury goods, which we then established basically a luxury goods manufacturing business. So we design, we manufacture, and we sell. We do everything. We're completely vertically integrated. There's about 20 of us in the team. We make everything ourselves, and what are our other metrics? We've successfully rescued 279 tons of material. For us, the term circular economy came after we started. So I think Ellen MacArthur was still sailing when we started the company. But to me, what it means is that all of the stress of the linear economy and worrying about what you can get and who you have to get it from goes away, because your whole life, your economic life and your personal life, is just about collaboration and partnership and using what you need at the time and making sure that you're just the custodian of whatever that might be. Even in the sense of nutrients, when I eat food, I'm just the temporary custodian of those nutrients. The natural world can happen back again at the end of life. And if the circular economy is actually functioning, then everything that is associated with what I wear and what I do and how I travel is just me carefully looking after those nutrients for a short period of time. So the stress of the linear economy and the guilt disappears. And wouldn't that be wonderful to just be able to fly around the world without a care because there was no fossil fuels involved? Because we started with a rescue mission at the core of what we did, I think we started circular from day one because we were taking a material that would otherwise go to landfill. And then we've built more and more circularity into what we do. So our leather project, which we started in 2010, which is, let's say, more when people started to talk about how to design for a circular economy, all of our leather goods are designed for deconstruction. So we use leather waste to begin with. We design pieces from components that you can put together and take apart and remake over time. And we also repair those goods. So the leather system that we have is inherently circular because it was designed that way. And then 50% of our profits go to charity because we believe in the circular flow of capital as well. And if we take it to the level that we're at now, we're treating our own sewage using only nature. We are generating our own renewable energy. We have designed and open sourced a solar powered microforge. Everything we do now is circular by design. I think this is a really great question because we face the same challenges that anyone setting up any kind of a business faces. But we get the joy of working in the way that we work. So it feels great to rescue materials. It feels great to give half of our profits away. Really, really great. I can't imagine how awful it would feel to just run a standard business. If you had just a normal business that didn't do anything spectacular or special and didn't try to make the world better for anyone else, how stressful would that be? Because you had all the challenges that I have, but none of the joy and none of the upside. So actually, I would say the challenges are completely and totally outweighed by the joy of what we do. When we first started, we had this audacious goal. We are going to take all of the fire hose and we are going to turn it into something else. And the first year, we probably rescued 8 fire hoses. So it was something that we never thought we'd ever be able to get to grips with. But by 2010, we were doing it. So for me, 2010 was just this year where suddenly I felt invincible because I thought, well, we can take any waste now. If we fix this impossible one, we can take any other waste we want. And that was amazing and actually liberating because it did allow us to go out and do lots of other exciting things. But I think for Elvis, he would say that he's the most proud of our apprenticeship program because we work with young kids that haven't had the same kind of background that we've had and that just need a chance. And to see these young people thrive and flourish and become wonderful human beings that really understand they've got a lot to give and a lot of talent, and that's unbelievable. That's a joy too. Well, if you think of a traditional luxury business, they have 2 big costs, okay, in their production. 50% labor, 50% raw materials. they have to buy those raw materials up front, which causes a cash flow problem. Now, I don't buy any materials. We collect waste. We spend 100% of our costs on labor, and our labor costs are higher because you can't just make a hose into a handbag. There's all these processes you have to go through. But because we don't have to buy the hose up front, and because you're putting the labor in at every phase, it just means we don't have this huge cash flow problem. And that is genuinely what kills a lot of businesses in our sector. So I think that's a huge advantage. In order for us to transition to a circular economy, I think the first thing that has to happen is that we have to remove our ego, and we have to stop thinking of human beings as being above everything else. We have to see ourselves as part of a natural system in symbiosis with everything else, all of the other creatures, the entire planet, everything. And if we can successfully do that, and I'm not saying we can, then we've got a real shot at it. Because if your goal is just to maximize what you can do for your community and what you can do for the people around you, and you realize that there's so much joy associated with that, then we will have this wonderful world that we can live in. And not just a circular economy, we'll also have, peace and less inequality and better education all around, and it will be good for everything, but the ego has to go. I think that for us, the real success came from starting with a problem. So we didn't decide to become business people. We didn't just decide to create a widget that may or may not have been necessary. If you start falling in love with the problems that surround you, and then you think, right, how can a circular economy solve that problem? How can a circular economy mindset solve that problem? And then you think, who do I need to help me on that mission? What skills don't I have? What partners am I going to need? And if you can start mapping all of that out, you won't need to write a business plan. That will be your business plan. And I think that's genuinely the advice that we do give to people. But also, be stubborn, have fun.